Page 43, One Call Away. On page 42, they're introducing you to a 6th chord. I've covered a lot of these method books in the past. This is the first one that has introduced the 6th chord. So it's kind of interesting. It's no big deal. I mean, you can do any of the chords. I already explained them. You just take C major. That's the key we've been in. It uses all the white notes here. And each step of the scale is numbered 1 through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Or 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, the number doesn't change in direction. I mean, it's number 5 is always number 5. Well, the chord is built on each step of the scale, so the 1 chord is built on step 1. And the 4 chord is built on step 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 chord is built on step 5, and you can guess the 6th chord is built on step 6. You're just using the notes in the C major scale to do it. And that's a 6th chord. And you can turn it over, remember, because I'll go down here. It doesn't have to be in this arrangement. I can put the A on top. I can do that. It's still a 6th chord. Or I'll put C on top. So there's different arrangements of it. But as long as it's an A, a C, and an E in the key of C major, that is a 6th chord. And that's it. Now for One Call Away, 4/4 time, we're in the key of C major. Yeah, okay. I want to take this one hand at a time to make sure we got all the notes and rhythms. And so start with the right hand. You put 3rd finger on E. That puts your hand in this position. I don't think we're moving around here, so we're just here. There's only 3 beats in the first measure. That means there should be another measure somewhere with 1 beat in it, because every measure's got to have 4 beats according to 4/4 time signature. But if you look at the bottom, you see 1 beat in that measure, and that's beat 1. So we're coming in on beat 2. So it's 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's both of those notes are tied, so you hold them down for 5 counts. And then for measure 4, remember the little numbers above the staff in the boxes are measure numbers. So measure 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you don't need the finger number there. We need a finger number at the beginning to tell us where to put the hand. And that's it. If we're not moving around, and we're not, we don't need any more finger numbers in here. So it's 4th finger anyway, because that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes. So if you know what a quarter note gets, you just 3 times that is the 3 counts. Measure 8. 8th notes, 1 and. 1 and 2 and that's tied. And again, if that throws you, then take out the tie and play all those notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But then once you get that, then put the tie in. You just hang on to the note rather than playing it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Last line. Let's go down to what, measure 14. A C and a D. And then that's tied for 5 counts. Left hand, well, when it comes in, starting here, that puts you in this position. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And something I want to point out here. Take those 3 notes together. That is a C chord. And I'm hoping you recognize that as a C chord. It is what's known as a broken C chord. A broken chord is where the notes in the chord are not played at the same time. And there's all kinds of patterns. It doesn't matter what the pattern is. It's just that this is a broken C chord. And I point it out because it will help you if you can learn to recognize these patterns and notes in the music. It makes playing or reading music a lot easier. Anyway, we have the C chord and then 3 beats of rest, and then the hand doesn't move, just bring the thumb up 1. And that's here. Then on measure 5, it's a 4 chord. We've already had that one, and then a C chord again. This is a blocked C chord. A blocked is when you play them all at the same time. A broken is anything else. Let's go down to the third line. Measure H, come in on beat 4 for 1 beat, 1, rest, and then a C chord, and then it's G. You come across, second finger on the G sharp, and then the thumb on the A, and then since you're here, you can stay here if you want. Just fourth finger, and then here. Let's do that again. This is measure 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. Now, measure 12. After you play the note, go ahead and come back down where you were. Just one note down. So you're going to play the F to measure 13 with second finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then some rest, and then a couple C chords. Put the hands together. Okay. Here and here. C position. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There. Half note comes up when I play the E. Right there. So the E is by itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. They're both tied. All of those notes are tied. Measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right there. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. And again, when I play the E, that right hand comes up. No, here, see, I crossed over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because that gets 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And on measure 12, the A is by itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The F is by itself, and then here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's a little tricky on the rhythm. You got to count this out very carefully. You go through it a few times until you're more comfortable with the rhythm and you don't really have to count anymore. You can feel the rhythm. And get rid of any hesitations. It's got to be a steady beat. Nice and slow is fine, but steady. Then once you do all that, or get that, can play it okay. Then we have the articulation. Well, they don't really give you much. There's a few slurs. I'm going to suggest to you that you pretty much connect everything except lift up between the phrases, the musical sentences. And in this piece, if you look at the words, you'll find that each line happens to be a musical phrase. It just works out that way. So when you get to the end of each line, lift up, like taking a breath. Just so there's just a speck of silence in there. So the last 2 measures of the first line is here. Lift up. And the end of the second line you're here, we'll lift up before you go on. Now at the end of the third line, the melody's in the right hand. That's where you would lift up. However, you got to lift up anyway because there's a rest on measure 12. However, the left hand is connected, so you don't lift up in the left hand. So the end of the last 2 measures of the third line is measure 10. You're here. 1, 2, 3. Connect this, but lift up here. And once you have a grasp on that, then think about the dynamics. There's not much to think about because they give you an MP at the beginning, a mezzo piano, moderately soft, sort of soft, and that's it. So the whole piece is sort of on the soft side. It's not soft, it's just sort of soft. It's gentle. That's the melody. The left hand needs to be very soft, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this. I want to hear this. Keep that soft. See, on measure 5, I want to hear that. I'm playing this very soft. This takes time to get that control, but I'm asking you to keep working at it. It does come eventually. You'll struggle at first, I assume. I did when I first started, but it does come. So play this out. Then I'll measure 6. Play this out. If you can't play one note louder than the other, play them both. But play the right hand louder than the left. Then I'll measure 8. The left hand, that one note the left hand gets is melody. It's got to be the same loudness as the right hand. It's got to sound like one hand played all of that. And then the left hand plays soft. So you do the dynamics. At the bottom, the last measure, there's a repeat sign. That means you go back and you play the whole thing again. So you play it twice. And remember, the beat is a steady. So the moment you play that quarter note at the end, the chord, that's beat 1. Beat 2 comes immediately. There's no hesitation. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It just, the beat keeps going on until you're done. As far as the speed goes, soulfully is, I don't know how fast soulfully is. If you're going to sing it, how fast, you probably find recordings of it. Now be careful in the last line. Measure 13. That's melody. This is not. It's got to sound different. Don't make them sound the same or the listener will think they're both melody. See, and it's not. So that F needs to be soft, well, like everything else in the left hand. The only time the left hand gets melody is on measure 9, on that one note. That's it. And the only reason I know it's melody for sure is because there's a word there. And that it's got to be melody, huh? Now, in case you're wondering, there are 6 chords in this, because they just introduced it. Makes sense they're going to use them. And if you haven't found them yet, I'll tell you where they are. Hopefully you've already figured them out. But the first 6 chord I see is in measure, well, it starts in measure 2. It's tied at the end of the first line. This chord, that's a 6th chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's split up between the hands. It doesn't matter how it's split up between the hands. The whole overall sound. The chord is everything. So that's the chord. And then you get it again, the 3rd line down at the end of the line. Same one. So they're using the 6th chord in here. I'd like to play it with you slowly. Let's double check all the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. There isn't any anyway. I'm going to play both hands about the same because I want you to hear them. So I'm going to give us 5 counts because we come in on beat 2. And we are going to do the repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.